Today News June 5, 2009. Falling in Love with Loving Love by Patrick Grimm. A great songwriter wrote succinctly that, if you love love, then love loves you too. What does this mean? Simply that a heart open to love in the world, open to joy, bliss and the wonders and panoramic possibilities of our lives as those glorious creations called human beings, will find love. But those hearts closed off to love, open to hate, endless pessimism and always suspicious of others will find just the opposite. This theory, at least the upside of it, may read like hopeless ebullient Pelagianism, but there is truth to be found in it. What you give, you surely will receive. As Jesus Christ reminded us, what we sow we will eventually reap. Sooner if not later the human mind can work like a mirror. What we see in ourselves, we often project onto our fellow humans. A pertinent example would be the pathological liar always believing that everyone else is lying to him. There is hardly a chronic thief alive who is not always paranoid, sincerely believing, if a thief can be sincere, that everyone else is out to rob him blind. This is the reality of our fallen natures. What we see in ourselves will probably be transposed onto the other. Another example of this phenomenon would be Jewish supremacist groups like the ADL, who are ethnocentric and clannish to the core, forever seeing racism and racial separatist ideas in the words and actions of Gentiles. They accuse Gentiles of anti-Semitism, a term they leave undefined, while their lavishly funded organizations practice crass and cruel forms of anti-Gentilism on a daily basis, attacking Christianity and attempting to destroy its influence in our society, all without seeing the absurd irony of their own Machiavellian machinations. In an ideal and utopian world, each of us would love love as much as he or she lovingly could. But sadly our world is neither ideal nor utopian. It is in a constant battle over limited resources and a conflict between inherently conflicting interests. The interests of organized Talmudic Jewry and European Western mankind cannot be reconciled, even with the most tortured of semantically arduous exercises from well-meaning pluralistic conservatives. There can be no pleasant juxtaposing of Jewish priorities with our own. Zionist agendas are necessarily in conflict with European American ones. The ideal of free speech is but one example of this dichotomy, this splitting at the seams of any semblance of so-called Jewish-Christian unity. Jewish groups like the ADL support thought control through hate speech laws, which are wielded against their Gentile opponents like a sword of Damocles dangling dangerously above their heads, held in place by the tiny thread of civilization. These laws strike at the very bedrock constitutional values of our society. In summation, love is to be valued, and even loved lovingly. But other human traits, such as justice, honor and heritage, must be loved just as much. To do any less would be to love less. For there is no true love without an object of love, in this case our heritage, our traditions, our inventions and the wonderful genetic storehouse residing inside of our people. Love love, but also love truth, wonder, God, and nature. Love the mind and all its treasures. Another gifted songwriter warned us that falling in love with love is falling for make-believe. Falling in love with love is playing the fool. Caring too much is such a juvenile fancy. Learning to trust is just for children in school. Let us love love, but let us never play the fool, either in our personal behavior or in our fight for the future of our people. For a fool can be loved, but never respected, and a lover of truth should be both loved and respected.